following is the posterior aspect or the gluteal aspect of the hip joint. There are certain prerequisites which are supposed to be known before we move on to Trendelenburg sign. Firstly, the outer surface or the lateral surface of the iliac bone, it is actually the gluteal surface, and it can be divided into three regions. These three areas are separated by the three gluteal lines. These three gluteal lines involve the posterior gluteal line, which starts about 5 centimeters anterior to the posterior inferior iliac spine, runs laterally and downwards, and ends at the upper margin of the greater sciatic notch. Another line is the anterior gluteal line, which starts about 4 centimeters posterior from the anterior superior iliac spine, runs downwards, backwards and obliquely, and ends at the base of the greater sciatic foramen or greater sciatic notch. Lastly, the inferior gluteal line begins just above and behind the anterior inferior iliac spine, runs backwards and ends at the apex. The three gluteal muscles involve the gluteus maximus, gluteus medius and the gluteus minimus. Gluteus maximus has its bony origins from the lateral slope of the iliac crest from the posterior gluteal surface. Other fibers of the gluteus maximus arises from the aponeurosis of erector spinae muscles and the related muscles of the greater sciatic foramen. The gluteus maximus is the largest muscle of the human body. It inserts over the gluteal tuberosity, which is present in the posterior aspect of the femur. The gluteal tuberosity is also referred to as the third trochanter. But apart from this, the major fibers of gluteus maximus are inserted over the iliotibial tract, running as such. The gluteus medius muscle originates from the anterior gluteal surface, which is lined posteriorly by the posterior gluteal line and anteriorly by the anterior gluteal line. The origin occurs as such. Now its fibers runs laterally and are inserted over the lateral roughened end of the greater trochanter. The gluteus minimus muscle originates from the inferior gluteal surface, lined inferiorly by the inferior gluteal line and superiorly by the anterior gluteal line. The gluteus minimus muscle originates as such and inserts over the anterior roughened aspect of the greater trochanter. The gluteus maximus muscle is supplied by the inferior gluteal nerve, whereas these two muscles, that is the gluteus medius and the gluteus minimus, are supplied by the superior gluteal nerve. Paralysis of these two muscles due to lesions on the superior gluteal nerve is the reason for Trendelenburg sign. The body weight transmission is very important to maintain stability while standing. It is usually done in a normal stance by distributing the body weight towards the ground from both the lower limbs. However, while walking, the body weight is transmitted by just one lower limb, as the other limb is in the air in motion. During this condition, it is the role of the gluteus medius and minimus of the supported limb to stabilize the limb in the air. Due to this reason, the stance, the appearance or the gait of the person is normal from the torso up. Due to lesions or damage to the superior gluteal nerve, the gluteus minimus and the gluteus medius becomes paralyzed. Due to this reason, they are unable to support the weight of the person in motion. Now, in order to walk, the person would have to support the unsupported limb which is in motion via his torso by bending towards the paralyzed side. If the muscles of only a single side are affected, the form of walking or the gait of walking is termed as lurching gait, whereas if it's bilateral paralysis, it is termed as waddling gait. These involves the Trendelenburg sign of basically shifting the torso towards the supported side to maintain the unsupported side in case of paralysis.